Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 13th of June 2026. The PM loses two key men as he clings on at number 10. Violence in Belfast to condemn, which stems from an act from an unhinged specimen. Trump claims peace in the Middle East again, but who knows when. Trouble for Captain Ben, who seems to lapse every now and then. A message of carpe diem from Infantino in his moment of zen amidst World Cup mayhem caused by the US immigration system. The Middle East war has stretched to the limit. Everyday definitions, every day, every minute. For example, Iran and the US still insist their agreed April ceasefire still exists. But what meaning is ceasefire supposed to convey when fires never cease in the Hormuz Strait each day? Fires on ships coming a cropper. On Monday, fire when Iran hit a US chopper. Applying the word truce or ceasefire forthwith must be considered wishful thinking or simply a myth. And a myth is as good as a mile when every day Trump says a peace deal is touching distance away. His childlike optimism is almost touching, but should actually be defined as straw clutching. And as for the truce between Lebanon and Israel, the actual truth is the whole thing has failed. Ever since the ceasefire supposedly took hold, it's as if Israel and Hezbollah had not been told. At the start of the week, a tipping point came with Israel and Hezbollah playing the blame game, pointing at each other the finger of blame, then pointing rockets at each other to take aim. Anger on both sides becoming inflamed, so a negotiating table front seat can be claimed. Long before this year's World Cup kicked off, for various reasons, fans had already kicked off. 48 countries playing in 3 host nations means high-cost travel and accommodation. Add to that huge ticket price inflation and the US current policy towards immigration. And this week, Africa's top referee flew to Miami but was refused entry, had a diplomatic visa and all the credentials, but he failed on one fundamental essential. Omar Artan is a Somalian man, and Somalia is a country that America has banned. Meanwhile, 15 members of Iran's delegation also fell foul of US immigration. Even players and key support staff will have to catch a plane in and out of the day of each match. Based in Mexico, match day routines sacrificed, flying in and out of Seattle and Los Angeles twice. That's just for the group games. What if Iran gets through? Imagine USA v Iran. What would Trump do? A real mess, but then again, it's not happened before. A country hosting a nation with whom it's at war. FIFA's president couldn't offer any goodwill. Infantino just told everyone to relax and chill. Thursday, we finally kicked off the tournament proper. The ceremony in the Azteca was a real showstopper. The report on the Nottingham murders is still a year away, but initial findings were released on Monday. The killing of 3 people in 2023 by Valdo Calacane was a real tragedy. At a press conference, the bereaved got things off their chest with anger towards the care services expressed. Several politicians and commentators noted some alarming common denominators, with Henry Novak's case in the way key workers allowed a sick man to get away with murder. On Monday, a video from Belfast went viral, causing national anger to once more spiral. A Sudanese migrant randomly hacked a man's face. How the victim survived must be down to God's grace. He lost an eye and would surely have lost his life if bystanders hadn't stopped the monster with the knife. Heroic and brave, they had the guy saved from the dregs of society, sick and depraved. Kalakani, Radakabana, Digwa, and so on. The question is, how much longer will it go on? Many people feel politicians are too hairy-fairy, which has led to incidents ever more scary. They don't deal with the issue, they sit on the fence, avoid the word immigration to not cause offence. So in Belfast, a band of thugs went house to house, searching out foreigners to have cars and homes doused. The petrol then lit, flames everywhere, innocent people terrified, in despair, a community seemingly beyond repair, and no obvious quick fix from anyone, anywhere. Almost from day one, Keir's been losing backbenchers, but on Thursday he lost key allies in the trenches. Defence Secretary John Healey called him out. His resignation letter revealed a huge falling out. And soon afterwards his junior fell into line as Armed Forces Minister Al Khan's resigned. Both had defence spending very much on their minds, saying more is needed in these troubled times. On Sunday, English cricket got back some sparkle in its first test match since the Ashes debacle. But in Monday's small hours, our captain, Marvel, was in a nightclub and had a few jarfuls. Having just beaten New Zealand in under 4 days, Ben Stokes said he was relieved in many ways. He was clearly feeling the weight very heavy, told reporters he couldn't wait for a bevy. What happened thereafter, details were few, except that he'd broken the team's midnight curfew. Along with teammate Gus Atkinson, he got in a scrape, and from public scrutiny, there is no escape. Until we know much more than they're telling us, it's hard to guess the final fate of Ben and Gus, whether either or both get thrown under the bus.